what I'm saying is in 1947, when I was crossing here in Detroit, I went before this board of inquiry, and they admitted me as a U.S. citizen.
Okay. And you wanted to join?
Yeah, and then
I see.
I was going to military academy.
Right.
So, and Korea came along.
Yes.
And by then I started with Ontario Hydro in 1948.
Okay.
And I was north of Timmins.
It's way up there.
On the Matagami River when I got this letter to report to the draft board in Buffalo. And so I reported. I was healthy.
Yes.
And then that's the way.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the Army for 2 years.
Yes. And you wanted to join?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, I could have refused,
Sure.
and they would have deported me as an undesirable alien.
Oh, okay.
Well, I didn't want that
No,
tag.
of course not. No.
So
And did you choose the Army as compared to the other services?
you had three choices,
Uh-huh.
and the Army was my last.
Okay. In Arkansas, what kind of training was it? Training shooting, this sort of thing?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And lots of exercising, I suppose,
Oh
as
yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
marching,
Oh
that
yes.
sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Making sure that you were in good physical
Yeah.
conditioning.
Oh, well, you could run and scream with the best when you finish the basic training.
Yeah. So then you went up to near Seattle for how long were you there? You were saying?
Oh, just a couple weeks.
Just a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and then from there you went over to Korea?
Japan.
Or
No, Japan. And I was in Japan for 4 months.
And during the winter that you were there, I guess it got cold at times. The wind would blow. And
Well, we had these Arctic stoves.
yes, living in tents too.
Yeah, and we'd use fuel oil to. They had carburetors on them, but they used to freeze up. So we used to mix the fuel oil with the truck gas, and then we'd bypass the carburetors because they would just get jammed up. We had these seat clamps. Well, sometimes they go too much going in there, and then we'd have an explosion. So we burned a couple tents down. Fortunately, no one was killed, but it was close. But, well, my wife and I were with a friend of hers. It was when they were building the pipeline, the Dome Petroleum, on the west side of the city. She had this chap, a friend of hers, was working on that, and he was from Tasmania. And we're sitting here in the Legion on a rainy Saturday afternoon, and so I got talking to him about that. He said, he pointed his finger, he said, "You were the one." And he served on the Sydney, but it was after, just after I was on the board, and this story was about this American soldier who was on there for Christmas in 1951. It was me. And anyhow, he wanted me to have this hat, so he brought it. He was, at that time he was in Sarnia or Chatham, and he came up to Windsor and he dropped by the house, and he gave me this hat, and he wanted me to have it. And I could say, "Yes."
Oh, yeah.
And
What an honor.
unfortunately, a few months later, he was killed in an automobile accident out west. And I've had that for a long, long time.
Now, you mentioned the Australians. Was there New Zealanders there as well?
Yes.
Were they still referred to as Anzac? Or was that
Yes.
World War I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they called them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Gurkhas, we had Turks associated with it. We had we moved into a position as with an advanced party, and this was in the Chorwan Valley, and where we moved into this position up the side of this hill, and the Turks were down below us. So it was at night, and I thought, well, maybe I'd go down and see if I could scrounge something from So I'm going down this hill, and I heard this voice. Well, I ignored it. And then I heard this click, click.
Danger sign.
I knew what that meant. I stopped. And it turned out it was a Turkish guard. And but he would have shot me. There isn't any question about it. I said, GI, GI.
You were just coming home after being in the military for a couple of years and being over in
Well,
Korea.
1952 is like a year out of my life.
Yes.
So much, you know, whatever happened in 52 over here is strange.
Yes.
And like I've talked to other veterans, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're away from your home,
Yes.
and
You had no idea what was
yeah.
really happening.
you know, cars. What year car is that? You know, I mean, it takes a period of adjustment.
Oh, I guess, yeah.